Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Deborah. I started out with a whole lot of things to say, and then when I realized I could not find my voice in Dr. King's voice, when I could not say the things that I really would like to say, I decided to let him speak for himself. As I was reading and preparing it, I had a lot of thoughts about what he was saying, and then when it was time for me to perform, I couldn't bring myself to do it. I heard myself complaining. I heard myself talking about what is versus what can be, and I didn't like the way it sounded or felt. And that is not to say that there's something wrong with the things that Dr. King said. They were rightful things to say, and they are, as you read them, you can tell there's nothing has really changed. Not really. Nothing has really changed, and so there's no way to look at his life with all of the great things that happened while he was here, and then all the things that have happened since he's been gone. Fundamentally, nothing has really changed. He asked the question. Basically, he called the white church out. Somebody wrote an article called "The Epistle from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. to the White Church," because he basically said some things that I've said about religion in our country and the white church in particular. But he basically said, is religion too invested in the status quo to really save, and I quote, save our country? And I get the sense that it is too invested in the status quo. White preachers, white Christians are more invested in being white than they are in being faith people, godly people. And there's nothing, no amount of preaching or teaching or rioting or marching that's going to change that. That is the country we live in. Day one, first doc. That's where we live. So we have to find another way to do this. Now, I propose you love people, and I say that not using my definition of love. That sentence did not hold high enough what I say love is. I say it's to make the necessary sacrifice to stay connected to someone or something. It's radical acceptance. I think black people have done a good job of accepting white people, and that's just the way it is. And I don't even like the way that sounds coming out of me. White people are not white people. They are human beings that don't have as much melanin as other people of color. Black people, brown people, whatever the undertone is, that's the only difference. And so these constructions serve a purpose. Some good and some not so good. But still there is nothing we can really do about what other people do and how they respond to us. And I mean anybody. I don't mean just people who think they're white. I just mean people at work, people in the store, people driving down the street. There's really nothing we can do about what other people do except for do the right thing. And Dr. King says always right to do what's right. And I don't know if in The Great Debaters, if Samantha Book with an E was basically using language from the civil rights movement, but she said the time for justice is always now. It's always now. But again, we can only do our part. And I said we, as in whomever it applies to. I'm talking specifically about black people or white people. When I say we can only do what is right for us and the people whose lives we care about, and that's for me, everybody. Whew. So as we think about Dr. King and what he's meant to us and meant to the world, brilliant but gorgeous mind, to quote Sly and the Family Stone. Let's just find our spaces, find out what really matters to us individually, as a group, as a people, and do those things. And that's all we can do. happy birthday to you, and not to Dr. King, because birthdays for him is done. I say to you because let's do the things that mean growth, forward movement, that means love in the highest sense, not in the romantic sense, not in the brotherhood sense, because we know what we see doesn't represent that. We do have a great example, but that's the choice too. So, for me, I can only speak for me, I would do the things that matter. I will speak up on the things that matter, and I will act on the things that matter, because that's me leaving a legacy of what I call radical acceptance, that represents the most infamous person in the history of the world, Jesus of Nazareth.